Okay, everyone, we've decided to do this is on for YouTube only, we've decided to do a wee bit of a Q&A for about 45 minutes or so, for the D&D and Dragon Age in general. So, this is part of the week whatever, so here we go.
Week whatever.
Whatever the hell this is, but it's a good way to end that on a cliffhanger, because I love cliffhangers. Plus, I have to actually write out what happens now, because the fact that Tara and Sophia finally got together kind of puts a spanner in my plan. So, yeah. So, and
what was supposed to happen then? Was she just supposed to be like a cold bitch?
I don't want to spoil anything, because it might still happen.
Can I predict how I thought you were going to do it?
Okay, so you can predict. Go ahead. If you want to make predictions, on you go.
Okay, and of course you don't have to respond, because if in case. I thought she was basically kind of like Wynn in the matter that she has a spirit keeping her alive. She's also a mage, and it works out ever since the days of Arlathan, and she's using these lost archives in order to return to basically like how things were for her or whatever, or basically kill herself off and get the spirit out or whatever. I thought that she was going to either at the end betray us, or she was going to
return to her people.
Yeah, basically
people need me. I must go
home. Use the lost archives for her own personal use, and then she'd like leave us to do whatever the hell we wanted.
That could be the sad ending for you, and then you could choose to go with
she's got a spirit.
I think I can say this: she's not possessed.
Okay.
No, but then Wynn wasn't possessed.
So not even like a Wynn, like a Wynn with the spirit thingy.
Okay.
No? I think she's one of the ancient elves or some shit.
Oh, well, that's what I thought.
Yeah, someone just pointed out, do you want to level up your characters right now?
Hmm?
Do you want to level up your characters right now?
Nah, we'll do it afterwards, because they want to ask us more questions.
Feel free to ask a question.
Let's get questions.
I'll say this, I do have something planned. It has changed with the way the characters have acted. Like finding a couple of items that I wasn't expecting them to find.
Like that stuff that's talking to me.
I was not expecting you to find that stuff.
You could never predict anything with us.
So I don't like planning too far ahead, but I don't want to give anything away. But you've got some things right with Sophia, but I don't want to say anything more than that.
Alright.
But yeah, so I've got a couple of things in mind. Okay, I just don't want to spoil it for anyone.
Is this a Dragon Age Q&A?
It's just anything, isn't it?
Anything Q&A, Dragon Age, anything really. If you want to ask questions about the specific rule set I use, or or this game in general, feel free to ask me, and I'll do what I can.
I have a question. Do you think BioWare was forced to sign an NDA for life regarding ME3's ending?
It's in most of the NDAs whenever you sign up with companies. It's just standardized across the board. You're not supposed to divulge any information about the actual in-game things about it. I mean, some companies are different. I mean, for me, whenever I worked at Treyarch, I wasn't allowed to talk about anything that I did internally until it was done, until the actual product was out. Some companies are like, don't you ever talk about it. So.
Yeah.
I think there's probably some stuff people aren't allowed to talk about, like within the company. That just goes.
I do think BioWare is being more careful.
Yeah.
With what they promise and all that, like that is a little like I mean, I see Mike Laidlaw saying that a lot. Like we don't want to promise something and then not like be able to do it.
Yeah,
so they're being more careful about what they say, I think.
I mean, I know I moan about the wait, but I'd rather them, like they said, once they've got it nailed down, show us rather than say, "Oh, this will be in it," and then it's not.
That's better. That's cool too, because I mean, as much as it's like people want to know, I'm like, it's better for them to say that, to say we don't want to promise and not do this. I mean, that shows like some respect for the fans as well too.
It shows a bit of respect for that.
Well, we have a BioWare dev in the chat, so ask him. He's right there. There's Zenderquay.
He's right there.
Unless he wants to join us, he can do that if he wants to. He'll pop back on again.
But yeah, someone's asking a couple of questions like, somebody's saying, why don't you voice act your characters asking questions in character more often instead of asking Scottish out of character questions? Yeah, they're basically saying, why don't
because I can't maintain that voice that Boris does.
Boris's voice is hard to do, like straight up.
I can't pull off Owen's voice.
I guess I could with mine, but mine's just like it'd just be too out of character with everyone doing differently.
Yeah.
I should point out, don't pester Zendikoi for secrets and stuff. It's not going to happen. Just be nice. Don't pester the poor man.
Don't be a dick, or you get timed out. And if you go too intrusive, I will ban you. Simple as. So.
I probably shouldn't have said anything. Sorry.
done and dusted. Apologies, Angelo, but just don't pester him with questions, because I'm pretty sure he probably gets enough of that out of most of us.
What is your favorite origin?
City elf.
Dalish elf.
Really? No, man, it's all about the human noble.
I did the human noble.
I like the mage origin.
I've done
just not because Cullen's in it, just because I like running around the whole thing. I think it's quite interesting.
I've done all the origin stories. All of them are good. I just prefer the Dalish elf. I think the Dalish elf is a really much better ending.
Is my least favorite.
Yeah.
I was so bored with it. Like,
I think I'm a sucker.
That was my first one I chose.
Yeah. I think I'm a sucker for any kind of race that has lost something and wants to try and get it back. I think the elves in the Dragon Age universe are much more interesting due to the fact that there's not a lot we know about them, and also I really want to find out how they lost their immortality, because that's something you don't just lose.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like their backstory.
I find the elven backstory much more interesting than most of the other ones. Don't get me wrong, I do find all of them interesting, but I think the Dalish elf one's much more interesting. And
wait, did you play as a female or a male elf?
Male Dalish elf.
Male. Oh, okay. I was gonna ask, if you played female, is it because your character fell in love, or your Tamlin fell in love with your character?
Oh God, that was sad. That was so sad. I was sad. Like, no.
I was a female Dalish elf, and I was just like,
that's
I think City Elf was a little more fun than Dalish.
City Elf is good. If I had to pick my second favorite one, I think probably it's either the Dwarven Noble or the Human Noble.
Dwarven Noble is my second favorite by far.
Dwarven Noble had so much opportunity at the end, though.
I know.
There was so much. Freaking have a dwarf with, like a female dwarf with Alistair. Freaking have Orzammar and Ferelden.
Yeah, that would be
shit.
Awesome.
Screw Orlais.
Awesome.
Like, God.
Yeah, we have it all. And also...
Okay, just to stop you a minute.
Yeah.
Zendikoi would like to join us, and I extended the offer.
I think you'll have to add me on Skype. So
he was in last time. Remember when
I wasn't there? Remember, I was there.
Okay.
I've got my Skype set up.
What's your thing? Hang on,
Scottish War 92, because I've got it set up that no one can video call with me unless they're part of my contacts.
All right.
So if he wants to join, he's more than welcome to. I've switched over the BRB thing to add him in.
Okay.
A lot of people seeing his Skype thing, so.
Damn it! Overlay.
Oh yeah, we ruined the overlay. Just use the old one we had.
I need to dig it out and. It's got names on it. Sorry, it's just.
Or just stick him over the Dragon Age the 5th part.
Yeah, I'll just stick him over the dice part. So if he wants to send me a friend request, then I'll add him.
I might change my overlay right now. I'm like preparing.
Oh shit.
There we go.
I love these impromptu things. It's great.
Yeah, I love it. It's much more entertaining.
There we go. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we're ready? Hang on, let's just check what he's doing. Has he added you?
I've not received a request yet. What's that?
I think he's probably just setting up. So, hang on, let me send you his. Give me a sec.
Okay, just paste it in the chat.
Can't you just drag him in?
Maybe.
I've got my Skype thing set up that it can't accept calls or anything from people who are on my contacts, because I've had a couple people try to sneak in certain videos.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm pretty sure people eventually will figure out my Skype ID. Anyone tries to sneak into calls, you ain't getting fucking in.
Yeah, that was like my whole thing. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna change my Skype ID before PAX. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, either that or you just set up a second Skype account specifically for your YouTube, Twitch thing. Yeah. So that's probably what I'll end up doing if I start streaming a lot more. So yeah, just wait for the request.
I think he's setting up. So
okay, no problem. Okay. Let's get him out.
You want to just answer like a normal question for now?
Okay. Just let me just switch back over and switch back to the.
Sonya Blade or Jill Valentine?
Sonya Blade.
Sonya Blade.
Who is that?
Sonya Blade.
Resident Evil.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat.
Sonya Blade's from Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat, definitely.
I mean, Jill Valentine.
Right. Jill Valentine's from Resident Evil.
After.
I don't know. Sonya
Blade.
Sonya.
I need to get Mortal Kombat. I haven't played that game yet.
Oh god, I was brought up in Mortal Kombat.
No, I played some of the original. I've not played the newer one.
Awesome, or some ideas.
I need to check. Oh, there's X. There's X. I need to accept his request.
Oh right,
accept.
awesome.
And shit, where's my call? I need to get back to my call. I need to get back to the D&D. Shit, no. I need to switch back over.
You can do it.
No,
Cole,
okay,
Cole should not be a companion?
Okay, let me just drag him in. Give me a moment.
Why?
Cole is an awesome character.
Okay.
I think he's interesting.
Yeah, I do too.
You suck, whoever that was.
I love it. I love the way it ended. I love the way it
ended. Screwed up my whole overlay to add him in. So I've added him in. I need to add the overlay thing again. Okay. Eek. Up chat. Now, Abel, if you want to add him in, just go ahead.
Okay. How do I do that?
Just drag him into the chat.
How do I?
Drag his name into the chat.
That's all you need to do.
Like that? That didn't work.
Okay,
That's not working.
I'll see that. I'll try adding them in. Give me a minute. Okay, I'll drag him in. It's not working for me. Why is that not working?
Hang on. Can I? How do I? Maybe it's because it's Ash's. It's Ash's stream, isn't it?
Ash, you need to add him in. That's why.
God damn it. Okay. Wait, can you just put him into the just you know how to just like forward me his contact details? It's in the you just drag his name into the chat.
Oh.
There you go. There it is.
Yeah.
Add him in. Yeah. There you go. Just add him.
Okay.
There.
I'm just gonna do that real quick.
Oh yeah. I forgot you were hosting the call. That's why.
I was gonna say that's not working. So.
Sorry about that. Technical difficulties, people. I'll need to wait till. There it is. Shit, put my diamond.
Okay, that should work.
There we go.
Oh. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, I can see you really easily now. Cool.
There you go.
That is an awesome t-shirt.
Isn't it though?
Awesome t-shirt.
Welcome,
everyone.
You can't see it.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
he was tiny. He was like this big.
Oh.
Alright. Just adding everyone into the overlay right now. Thank you for joining us, Nick.
Pleasure.
Yeah, thanks.
Hope we didn't terrify you too much with our horrible D&D
Yeah,
play.
sorry. I forgot I probably shouldn't have said anything. And you're like, oh no.
No, don't worry about it.
Alright. Okay, so are we gonna do Dragon Age questions then?
I guess this is the Dragon Age centered questions.
I should probably tell Twitch. Hang on.
Yeah.
Twitter. Okay.
Okay. Everyone's yellow. Okay, so.
Okay.
I just need to add you in over here, to stick you over there, because I overlay on full people. And there we are. Very nice. Go to all set up now.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, they want to see the shirt. It's a Tron shirt. It's an awesome Tron. It even looks like it shines from where I am.
It glows in the dark, which is hilarious.
Really?
Oh, that's awesome.
Wait, does it glow blue? It should glow blue.
It glows green.
Damn it!
Oh
Okay.
my God. Now I want you to turn off the light.
Clap on. No, yeah, this should be an interesting conversation. Again, the first time actually talking to anyone who's worked for a company that I've idolized for quite some time.
Oh, he's gonna go starstruck.
Oh, you missed the last time. You missed.
Oh,
I missed the Cards Against Humanity last time. I was in chat,
Yeah, I
but
did too.
I missed it due to having to do university stuff.
Pesky University.
Yes, university sucks. Especially the course I'm doing.
Will the ID be available in current and next gen? Yes, it is. Xbox 360, PS3, PS4, Xbox One, PC.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much everything.
No Wii because Frostbite doesn't work on Wii.
No, I don't shit anyway.
Surprise there.
That's Wii. Show the Wii some love. Nintendo kind of need it.
I would not.
You can ask any question you like, not too fast.
He's not necessarily going to answer it, but you know.
So
you can try.
Remember, just any question, Joe. Be soft, be gentle.
We can ask like just general Dragon Age questions, like they were asking, like what. If you could have two origin stories, both be wardens to fight the blight, who'd you all pick?
Say that again.
Who'd y'all pick?
Who'd y'all pick?
That made no sense. Wait.
No. Who would you all
y'all,
pick?
like, who would you pick?
Okay. Two wardens fighting the blight. Two wardens fighting the blight. What origins would they have?
Right. Okay.
Well,
I don't care.
Okay, this one. Okay, I got a question. I got to ask this question right now because this is something I have to. This is for everyone, including yourself, Nick. Don't know if you'll know anything this or not. If you can't say anything, don't say anything. Do you want Talus to return, or as I call her, the Felicia Day DLC? I have no offense to Felicia Day, but that was one of the worst DLCs I've ever seen. I'm sorry, I don't mean...
I didn't like it.
I didn't like it. No offense to BioWare, I know who worked on it. I just did not like that DLC. I played a little bit. I played a little bit.
No, that DLC was so funny.
It was.
Talus wasn't a great character, but the DLC was a lot of fun.
I had fun with Fenris being all mad about me bringing him and freaking being called a slave.
Okay, I may have said it being a little harsh. It wasn't the worst DLC I've ever played. One of the worst DLC I've ever played was the DLC for Batman Arkham Origins Initiation. But why I didn't like it wasn't advertised well for me personally. I didn't like the way it was advertised because it was advertised as the Felicia Day DLC instead of a DLC for Dragon Age.
You think so?
Yeah. Maybe if I'd finished it, I may have liked it more, but the whole thing just felt like a big advertisement gig for me personally. That's all. So.
I'm hearing feedback. Can anyone else do that? Sounds like sellotape being ripped.
I'm like sitting there like...
MD, it's your mic.
My mic?
Yeah, because they take
it looks like it's from Nick's, because it pops up every time the cellophane sound pops up.
Okay, is it best if I use headphones or something like that?
Yeah, I think it might be just feedback from the stream.
It could be, or it could be a connection. Try using headphones.
Or not stream, but you know, the audio.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
No, it's quite my bad.
Okay. But yeah, as I said, I'm pretty sure the DLC was a lot more fun when you finished it, but I couldn't finish it. It was advertised. It was advertised pretty poorly for my liking personally. Like it didn't feel like a DLC.
That's better.
That's better.
Right, there we go.
Yeah, stop.
That's better, I think.
Okay,
yeah, I don't hear it anymore.
Someone's asking, do we want Reese and the other characters from Asunder? Reese, Rise.
Okay, do you know if it's pronounced Reese or Rise?
It's Reese, isn't it?
I actually believe I tweeted David Guider after I reviewed the book because he watched the review. But thank you very much to him. And he says it's pronounced Evangeline and Reese were the two names I had problems pronouncing, and he's Evangeline and Reese, I believe.
Reese? Okay. I thought it was Rise.
Reese. I think it's.
I always thought it was Rise because.
Me too, because of the H.
Yeah.
I think it's made it sound like
it's a Welsh name, isn't it, Reese?
I think so. Yeah, I don't know too much about Welsh names. That would be the worst. But yeah, does anyone else think we'll meet those characters? I highly
I don't think so.
expect to.
I don't
at
think
least
so.
one.
I would love to see Reese, but I don't think he'll come out.
I'd like to see. I don't know. I'd like to see the character I want to see the most is what was her name? Spoiler alert. The warden who is more than likely Alistair's mother.
Oh.
Fiona.
Can we say the name?
I can't remember her name.
Fiona?
Fiona.
Yeah.
That's her.
Yeah, from the book.
Yeah. Because I want to see her and Alistair meeting. I don't know what I don't know if she don't
a reunion of sorts.
I don't quote me.
Apparently he's not come back to do the voice acting, so I don't know if he's even in it now.
Yeah. He mentioned on Twitter that he wasn't asked.
Mind you, they might just not. Wow, it's weird talking about this, and there's a dev right there.
He's just sitting there going.
He's just like.
Well, it's kind of strange because you people are probably far better placed to actually discuss and answer questions about this kind of thing. I'm very much on the art side and the tech side of things. There was actually a question. There was a question that came up in.
By the way, so great
Thanks
job.
very much. There was a question that came up in the chat a couple of minutes ago from Echo, I think, asking about Frostbite. And I thought that was maybe the one question of the afternoon I might have been able to answer.
Well, if you want to answer that, go ahead.
Tell him what you do.
Right, yeah, we should probably let you do that first. If you want
so, I'll just find the question so I'm not misquoting.
Okay.
The Frostbite engine is powerfully unstable. Has the new tech given you any trouble? From an art perspective, no, not really. I mean, we use pretty standard software to get the artwork into the actual game engine itself, and it's a beautiful renderer, so it makes all of the artwork look that little bit better than it ordinarily would.
All the artwork I've seen looks absolutely fantastic, so well done to yourself and the team, because it just, whoa, that's all I've got to say about that.
I'm kind of personally not involved in any of the asset creation anymore. I'm handling materials across the 5 platforms. So the stuff that we make look really good for stuff like Gen 4 high-end PC, we've still got to make it look pretty robust and fairly beautiful on Xbox 360 and PS3. So that's going to be, for me personally, I think that's going to be the core of the work over the next however many months we've got.
Yeah, I know a bit about some of the technical stuff. The art stuff, I'm learning to draw manga and anime style, and I can't even get that right. But I do know that.
How do you draw that stuff though? I mean, do you actually like use a tablet and draw an actual on the Frostbite engine, or how do you do that?
So, I think it's pretty common to all game development, with a few exceptions. I mean, game engines like UDK, the Unreal Engine, that allows you to create certain structures within the engine itself using its sculpting tools. Most of the time when you're doing static meshes and characters and creatures, that kind of stuff, you have to prepare the artwork, the 3D artwork and the 2D in separate packages. So it might be Lightwave or what's the other one, Softimage, XSI or Maya or Max, and then you'll use a 2D, so Photoshop, to prepare the textures for it. Then you import those as assets. So that's generally the that's generally the pattern.
Man, that's pretty cool. Do you draw the concept art as well, or is that someone else?
No, we've got very, 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 very deeply skilled concept artists at our place. You know, world leading concept artists.
Yeah, the concept art is awesome.
Yeah, the concept art.
I was a concept artist in the deep and distant past, but that was when we used to use pens and inks rather than Photoshop or Painter or graphics tablets or whatever.
Back in my day, when we made art instead of
it's not meant to take anything away from the work that they're doing at all. But you know, when I started out, which was over 10 years ago, it was, you know, the concept artist role was not different in terms of the artist's workflow, but certainly the medium that you use and the techniques that you're hired with. Yeah, it's changed a hell of a lot for the better. I mean, when you've got a piece of paper and a marker, when you make a mark, Control Z is not going to help. Yeah. So you, when you're sketching digitally, you can undo and redo and undo and redo, as per the art director's wishes. So yeah, it's workflows are much more efficient now.
I've been kind of curious about myself a question. I don't know if I want this right, because I tend to do this quite a lot. When you're asked to create something, do you get very detailed stuff or very vague stuff? Like they say, we want you to draw X, Y, and Z cave or things like that and make it look X, Y, and Z, or do you get very vague or detailed?
It varies from company to company. I mean, the art director that we've got on DA, Matt Goldman, he's very, very good. He'll prepare and has prepared a codex of influence so that we have palettes to choose from and influence material, rather than, you know, someone goes home, watches a film over the weekend, comes in on Monday and says, we've got to make our game look like that. He's got a plan, and it's really good to, you know, it's really good to work against. It keeps the artwork consistent as well. I mean, one of the biggest things that we actually try to achieve is gamer immersion, and you can become immersed either through the look of the thing. Oh, no, sorry, that's kind of the wrong way around. You can be snapped out of the immersion either because of the look of the thing. If a particular asset of artwork looks inconsistent compared to everything that's around it, you're reminded that it's a piece of tech and it's no longer a fantasy experience. Yeah. Or you can be snapped out of the experience with a gameplay mechanic which doesn't fit, or when you press a button and the game doesn't behave how you expect it should. You know, you've got that learning phase where you're actually looking at the pad, looking at the keyboard to make sure you're pressing the right thing. Yeah. But then 15, 20 minutes in, you're in the zone, you achieve that virtuosity and you achieve that immersion where you're no longer even thinking about the keyboard. And if something doesn't behave right, it snaps you clean out, and that's what we've got to work really hard to try to avoid.
Yeah. There've been plenty of games I've played the art's just not been right, and it just takes you right out of it.
Yeah, it does. And you spot it, you're like, what?
The previous Dragon Age games, Dragon Age Origins especially, I've got really immersed into it because it just looked absolutely brilliant. Dragon Age 2, I did get snapped to it once or twice, but from what I've seen of Dragon Age Inquisition, I can see myself getting lost in that game for days, weeks. I'm
going to get lost.
I'm going to be, I'm not going to have a life for a while.
I'm going to get lost because I'm crap at finding my way around anything. So.
Okay, here's a really good question from Ka-in-Dian. How good does Varric's chest hair look?
Oh, that's very important. That's very.
Does it flow in the wind?
Does it sparkle?
I didn't see where that question was. Where's that question?
Canadian. It's quite recent.
It's a little bit
near the bottom.
A little bit. It's a green name.
Green name and
moving quite fast.
Okay, Kindine. How good does Varric's chest hair look on the new engine?
You see the slight glistening
that's the smile. It means it looks really good.
I can't tell you kind of the extreme lengths that we've gone to put settings like colour hair, greasiness, sweatiness, how soon he shaved it.
Glistening.
Yeah.
The razor burn, even.
We're pushing Frostbite to its limits by having beads of sweat roll down.
As a man with
that's all lies, and that's not breaching any kind of NDA. I couldn't possibly comment on it.
I feel for Varric. I'm sorry.
I would have cracked up if he's like, oh, I can't discuss that.
I feel for Varric.
Yeah, when a character chest hair is a closely guarded technical secret.
Very surprised. I feel sorry for Varric.
Is it modelled on a real person's chest hair? Have they just picked from the best?
Modelled and motion captured.
Amazing.
Oh, God.
It's like copy.
Well, we got a chest model with little reflective balls on the ends of each chest hair, so that we get them.
I must have been very, very detailed getting that in there, and very painful afterwards. Because a man with a very, I myself having a very
that
heavy
would hurt
chest,
pulling them off.
I would laugh to see that actor. They're like, wait, what am I gonna do? They're like, what is this for?
That'd be very interesting. I might as well ask this. As you can be as vague as you like. When it comes to design, you mostly do the environments and all that. I'm thinking about when it comes to like designing the characters and their outfits. Like, what's more fun, or what's more even the characters or the environments? What's more fun for you personally to sit down and draw? What one do you think you can get lost in doing?
What, between environments and characters?
Like, what one do you think you get more lost in the doing with, or you just lose yourself completely in drawing it and time flies?
That's quite an interesting question. It's kind of strange because that's very much. It sounds, correct me if I'm kind of misinterpreting you, but it sounds very much like emotionally, which is more satisfying.
Yeah, okay. What one do you get the most pleasure and enjoyment of doing and then eventually completing?
So when you're kind of gearing up to get a career or get a job in the games industry, you kind of have to, well, from my perspective certainly, and from those that I've coached and advised or mentored or whatever, you've kind of got to separate not only what you emotionally get pleasure from in terms of creating content, but also what you think games are about from the content creators' seat. So like, there are so many students that get into university courses that want to do this kind of stuff, that think that video games are about semi-clad women, mechs, huge guns, big explosions, all of the tropes and all of the cliches. So you've kind of got to beat that out of them. Because I think as the games market becomes more saturated, because I think there's more platforms now than there ever have been with next-gen, mobile, social, web-based.
Yeah.
And also the tools are in more people's hands. So stuff like Unity and all of the home software development kits, that means that we are reaching a kind of saturation point. So people are making the games that they want to see, regardless of whether they're popular or not, whether they hit the mark. So you've kind of got to separate yourself from what you expect games to be, but also there's definitely an easier way into games development as an artist. to get in as a junior character artist is incredibly tough, especially at high level, because you've basically got to be a rock star. The character artists that we've got are mental. They are supremely skilled, and the work that they prepare is it's on another planet.
I was just gonna say, when I was younger, game design and all that was something I was looking into get into. Eventually, after growing up and seeing I wouldn't have the skills for that, I kind of went, yeah, that ain't gonna work out for me.
Well, game art is different from games design. That's another crucial thing.
Yeah, I understand.
I mean, there's preparing the artwork for a game, and then there's coming up with design mechanics, which actually is, how the motions on the pad translate to the things that you see and what you actually control, and the level of control that you have over those details or aspects. But to get into the games industry, there's far more emphasis on having to produce lots and lots of environmental assets. So it's if there is an easy way, it's definitely as an environment art or a prop maker. So the original thrust of your question, which do you get more pleasure from, or which do you get into the zone quicker with, that kind of gets curbed fairly early on. Because you've got to become employable rather than just have
I know that all too well. As I've been job hunting for many months now in any job, and I know that you have to be employable before you have to be passionate. I remember that much.
Exactly.
I know that all too well. But there's an interesting question here that I think could be quite interesting for all of us. It's asked by Ecolette. Do you think the video games industry is going to crash anytime soon? As you mentioned,
no way.
As Nick mentioned, the markets has dozens of ways to get games out there, and there's a lot of shovelware out there, and there's a lot of games that come out over and over again. I have looked into this because a person I follow called Arshay Gaia done a video on this, talking about how he sees the signs. I don't think there is going to be a video game crash, but in all honesty, sometimes these industries need something to wake them up. And really,
I think next gen is the answer right now.
Yeah, but when it comes to it, it's very crucial to think about, like, there's so much out there in the market, and if you look back to the original video game crash, there was a lot of shovelware there as well. A lot of stuff was coming out, and Atari crashed and burned, and so did a lot of other companies. And the ones that disappeared were the shit ones, but the ones that lived on and came out of it were the better ones. So, do you think that the industry needs something like that, or would you prefer if they just do you think they just needs to adapt more into the future because of all the stuff out there?
My answer is kind of related, but it's, so the thing is that, okay, for the baseline here, I don't think it's going to crash, but the thing is that I think there are enough elements that are external that are going to cause the industry to shift and completely tackle on a lot of different things. Okay, let me just give my example so I sound a little bit more articulate. One of the things that is having a problem right now is digital distribution, and that is becoming a huge problem with certain ISPs like Verizon and Comcast, who are having the ability to throttle different internet connections. It's not just Netflix, but it's also with video game distribution. It can be a whole bunch of different things, and it's one of those things that we're so used to Steam, we're so used to Origin, we're so used to Uplay. We can have these things instantaneously, especially with Xbox and PS4 going, hey, let's just feed you your games, download it, and then you can immediately get it. Copy. Yeah, and you can have a digital copy. It's turning into a situation where these ISPs are going, that's really funny, let's just restrict that so you have to either pay more or they have to pay more premiums. So I see a lot of different things, including the copyright with YouTube. There are these different things that are even stifling just the basic creation of, not only from the fan basis, with all of us who are YouTubers and all of that, but it's also indie creators, the ones who want to get their game out there, who want to get videos out there, but then it turns into this whole problem where it's like, oh, you're kind of on my path, you use my music, and that turned into the whole YouTube copyright claim issue, which a lot of indie developers even had problems with because they licensed their music out and then they had copyright strikes on their stuff. So for me, the industry isn't going to crash, but I think there are enough problems that are going to cause a change. Yes, a change.
Yeah, I think the market does need to change a lot, because with a lot of the shovelware that's out there, and also with a lot of the digital distribution, I think it will be once we can get everyone can get fiber for a decent price, maybe it'll change. Like, we need to improve the internet first before anything, because service providers are horrible.
I feel like this is like I feel like right now we're in a the beginning of the golden age of gaming, especially when it comes to development, because games are evolving so much right now, especially because of the technology. And that's available now.
And more people are open to start making their own as well.
Yeah,
like
the indie gaming isn't seen the way that it used to be seen in the past. Like, now it's like, I don't know, it's becoming more cinematic. It's becoming almost more than a movie experience. And that's,
they're making more than the movies.
Yeah, so it's starting to intrigue more people, and developers, I feel, are getting like more what's the word? Like, interested in pushing that as far as they can, which is just absolutely exciting for me.
Okay, here's a question. So, how brutal can the industry be on a personal, emotional state? I mean, you're working hard and a lot and almost constantly on Dragon Age. So how is that? How is everybody handling it? I mean, it must take its toll on you.
Especially with a fan base like this.
Coffee, a lot of chocolate. Coffee and cookie.
I'm finding I'm checking my words to make sure that they're...
oh, you're going to just break down and cry.
They're political. No, yeah, that too. No, I mean, there are parallels between what we're trying to technically achieve with what people have been trying to technically achieve with games, as long as they've been making them, and with that kind of question. You know, you've got, say, on the PlayStation 3, you have 256 megs of memory to actually get your artwork into, right? That's how much the graphics card can hold. So we've got to try to use every last K of that to get the most out visually. There are 24 hours in the day. Now, I'm not saying that you have to work 24 hours, or even that it's insinuated that you must work 24 hours a day, but time is limited and we need to make really competitive products. So I think as long as you're trying to, you know, wring the last bit of quality out of the artwork, you've also got to kind of think on similar lines as, you know, the teams that you have. You've got to push the teams to produce their best stuff always, but never to exhaust them or separate them from, you know, their lives. That's the important thing. Because people do have lives, obviously have real needs outside of the working day, and it takes a special kind of company to actually try to separate a person from that.
Have you encountered a situation where you, like, say the writers come to the art team telling them, okay, we want this scene or we want to do this, and you're just like, we can't do it, like, on this engine?
No, because that's I think that's the difference between a novelist and a video game writer. You know, in a novel where you've got absolutely no physical responsibility to the visual, you can say, and, you know,
pretty much anything.
Well, yeah, I mean, your job as a novelist is to stimulate the reader's imagination, right? And as a game writer and a video games artist, you've kind of got to go some way, most of the way perhaps, in spelling out what they need to be thinking of. You know, you're telling a visual story as well as a narrative one. When you get a novel and they say, you know, this is I think partly the reason why you get an Oscar every year for best adapted screenplay. It's because you're taking something that is written in a literary capacity, which in parts absolutely can't work in a visual medium, because it's either too expensive, too impractical, too ridiculous, or it's too alien, and you would just lose the audience completely.
Yeah.
But if you get, it's the merest slip of a pen that could cause 6 months of art team work, you know, and such reaches down, picks a ring off the floor, looks through the ring and into the distance between swathes of pine trees, they see a hugely elaborate castle behind something else. And all of a sudden, that one line, you have to make pine trees, mountains, castles, sunsets, all this kind of rubbish. So there are very smart ways of handling explicit narrative in a video game development context, just as there are in an adapted screenplay context. Fortunately, we have really accomplished writers, so we don't hit those problems.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it, and I was going to say that like MD knows this, and some of you may know this. I've been working on a novel since I was 16, so I know.
I didn't know that.
Taking your time then.
Yeah, I take my time with it.
Yeah, it takes time. It takes a lot of
on
time.
and off for years. I've called myself a jack of all trades because I do this every time. I pick up something, lay on it, then never go back to it for months. But I've been working on a novel, so I do get how to write down stuff is tricky, and I'm like, if someone was drawing this, I feel so sorry for them, because like try to translate that is kind of tricky. Someone did ask, it's GHX Hidden Dragon asks, how many games have you worked on?
How many games?
Have you worked on in an artistic way? That's kind of a stupid question in a way.
Well, no, I can't actually. I'm terrible. I'm looking at the chat window. What colour is the name?
Red.
It's red. It's the third one up.
Yeah, it's Twitch.
Oh, okay. How many games have you worked on? So Dragon Age Inquisition will be my 10th.
Damn.
Wow.
I was very fortunate to join Studio Liverpool, working for Sony in 2003, just about when Sony Liverpool was hitting its kind of golden period. Fairly small teams, and we were doing the Formula 1 license and the Wipeout license in-house. So I had the chance to work on 5 or 6 versions of Formula 1, 2 versions of Wipeout, and then went to Evolution Studios and I worked on 3 versions of MotorStorm, which was MotorStorm Pacific Rift, MotorStorm RC, and MotorStorm Apocalypse. So before BioWare, racing games constantly. So
nice.
Dragon Age is a little bit of a shift for me.
That'll be an interesting way to see, interesting experience to move from motoring and vehicles and the environment around that to high fantasy in a way. So
well, I was a track guy on pretty much all of those except for Apocalypse. I had a different role on MotorStorm Apocalypse, but yeah, it was solving problems in a very technical way. So I think the role that I have on DAI right now, it's along similar lines, and you know, it's good to feel useful.
Yeah, always has to be good to feel useful. I wish I could feel that every day.
There's a really interesting question up on top. I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna put it in the chat so you can see it. I think this is a very good question for Zen. Do you see it?
You should totally
do that. See it in the chat? I mean, in the Skype chat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw that earlier. Yeah, any day of the week. Just you just need to give me a description.
Awesome.
Also, N7 also asked. This is on Twitter, but N7 normally responded to about Adrian's tweet saying, "Question: Can you attempt to sneak Owen, Terra, and Boris into DAI?" I don't think. Maybe...
Oh god, that'd be amazing.
Well, I don't know how much power you have.
Yeah, that would be cool. But
just some fat elf with a pig.
You have to give. You just slip it in there in one scene at least. Varric with a fedora. That's all I want.
That'd be awesome.
Jeez, stuff's happening on Twitter. That's quite incredible.
Yeah,
you guys have some pull. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, about MD and Insanity maybe, not so much myself.
Yeah, not so much me.
Oh, you guys.
I'm like small.
You just crossed 2K, and then Scottish is like picking up a lot on the videos.
1400 at the moment.
It's getting there.
Getting there, but not enough to turn anything into a job at all, or live off of, unfortunately.
Oh, well, someone's asking what the question was. I'm gonna post. This is what we were talking about. I just posted in the chat because people were wondering.
Oh yeah, they were asking if Nick could draw Boris in his pink fur.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's hilarious.
Yeah,
we should totally do that.
I should totally do that.
Pink wolf coat, pink cobalt hat. Oh,
I don't know where the Batman pajamas came from. Those are mine.
Oh, that's why.
You can put them in those if you want.
Well, Boris can be Batman then.
Yeah.
Well, Crack Fox Jr. has asked the question: is there any advice for a struggling game development student? But I think you answered that in your previous question. Is walk on it.
Keep you making games.
Yeah, that's
Crack Fox Jr. Yeah. Oh yeah, right, okay. Depending on where if they're in school right now, if you're in school or if you're doing college or university or something, start building relationships with companies as soon as possible.
PAX, E3, GDC, especially if your university has a system. Like whenever I went to USC, they gave us free passes for E3 back when. They gave us free passes for like,
nice.
Yeah. So, but yeah,
and,
like
and build on your portfolio, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to applying formally in interviews, you definitely need to turn up with strong examples of work. So be awesome. And that's another, good tip. But it's not a case of, I mean, people kind of distill it down to, it's not what you know, it's who you know. It's what you know. It's also who you know. So you've got to network really, really well. And you've also got to be good when you're asked to perform.
Yeah, I can definitely say that with myself as well.
And also, sorry,
no problem. No problem. Go.
An important point as well is that a lot of people that go to university to study for games, for a games career, if they're doing if they're studying games academically, a lot of them get disillusioned with the lack of technical training that they get, and they're kind of spat out at the end of 3-4 years of university, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 in debt, and completely bewildered why they can't get a job because they've got a piece of paper. There's a huge investment that's got to happen of personal time in actually building technique, because I've not seen one university course yet that caters for the academic side nearly as completely as they that caters for the technical or vocational side nearly as completely as they cater for the academic side.
Yeah. As I mentioned, I was trying to get into the gaming industry. It was like I wasn't going through university. I was going through a third party. I can't remember if they were called Tiger or something. But even the day of their course, it was going to be like $5,000 to pay for that. And I did almost get it, but I wasn't able to afford it at the time. I was 16. My mum was going to pay for it, but I said, no, you're not paying that. And the thing they said to me was that a lot of universities' gaming tech is a few years out of date. So do expect to be learning something new when you get out of university. It's not like 10 years out of date. It's like maybe by a year or two. By the time you finish university, the technology's got more advanced, so you may have to learn something new. So that's something.
The general rule that we kind of that we stick to as far as development workstations that we work on or that we want to work on, if the video card that we're actually developing on has twice the VRAM of the target platform, that's generally enough to actually work comfortably with.
Yeah.
So if you're developing for PS3, a video card with 512 megs is probably going to be plenty.
Yeah.
But you can learn how to make assets and to make small aspects of it, the larger whole, on a lot less than current top-end stuff. I mean, the PC that I had when I was doing my MA was pretty good, but it wasn't anywhere close to the PC that I would work on at Sony.
Yeah.
So you can still learn technique on. You don't need a grand piano to learn good keyboard technique. You can learn on a Casio.
Yeah.
But it's I think that's something. If you turn up to university to study this stuff and you have a computer to yourself, that's generally good enough.
Yeah.
If it's been made within the last 5 years.
I can definitely vouch out with the course I'm doing. I'm doing cybersecurity and networking. So yeah, a good PC works out really well. I've managed to get into the 3rd year of it, so I skipped the first 2. But yeah, I can never say the advice that Nick's given there applies to everything. So yeah, I can definitely vouch from experience to say that definitely perk up on your skills, and also don't stop learning, and then get to know people, because I didn't do that when I was younger, and it's kind of struck me down quite hard, unfortunately. Because yeah, I said to myself when I was 16, I'm going to try and get a job that I enjoy, and I'm going to just be myself. Tried that for several years, ain't getting anything. So right now, I have shaved, I get haircuts, I make myself look presentable. So
you've got to jump through the hoops.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah.
So I can definitely say that that's good advice for every career, not just game development. So.
Yeah, I mean, the difficulty with creative industries is that you think that you're you get sent through university, or just through people, either whether it's I don't know, support of the people that you're around, or encouragement, or even ego. You're led to believe that you are going to be employed for your uniqueness or your unique creative contribution, but it does also boil down to a raw understanding of technical processes and being able to repeat them on demand. You've effectively got to go to work and earn your job every day. That's how I that's how I see working here, because it's a great company. It's way bigger than me, so I've got to turn up and I've got to actually you've got to earn your place every day.
Bring your A game.
And I can give one last piece of advice for Matt. Volunteer. As advice I can give, if your university has some kind of volunteering scheme with the course you're doing, take it up in a heartbeat. I did
that's what USC had. With University of Southern California. Actually, they have I don't know if they still do, but EA actually has they had a thing where basically it was with the interactive media division, and we had a kind of system, or I guess you could say, that you could actually intern pretty closely with them, like in the 3rd and 4th year of your actual of your courses. So there's a lot of opportunity in some universities where they'll get you that experience, but you have to act on it, because obviously they're not going to hand it to you.
For the field I'm training in,
USC did.
Well, here's what the volunteering I'm doing is at the Commonwealth Games. I'm going to be setting up the routers there, so that's going to be fun. So if you happen to be watching the Commonwealth Games, keep a wee eye out.
Look for a little ginger dude.
Yeah, look out for me. 'Cause I'll be the guy running around like a headless chicken to talk to the athletes to go, right, so your iPad's not connecting to the internet? Okay, there you go. That's gonna be, but that's my advice, and do it quickly. Not even in university, because trust me, it helps it a lot. I wish I did it when I was younger.
You mean when you were younger? How old are you?
21. 21. Screw you. If I'd known this shit when I was...
I've got years on you, dear.
I know he's doing amazing. I know he's doing, but if I knew this shit...
We're twice his age, I think.
If I knew this shit when I was 16, I'd have a job by now and I'd be earning decent money.
Yeah, but when you're 16,
when you were 16, when I was 16, I was studying, didn't drink, didn't smoke, didn't go out and party, didn't go to clubs. So... I was a boring ass 16-year-old apparently. Measure for Glaswegian, so. I think we look for other questions, but most of them are what questions you've.
What have we got on this chat?
Most of it have answered already. Do you think does pretty well?
Have you worked in Mass Effect, or just is Dragon Age? Have you?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Have you worked on Mass Effect?
No, I haven't. I started at BioWare it's coming up on just 2 years ago. It'll be 2 years in about a fortnight, and I went straight onto DA. So I've never got the chance to work on Mass. There's occasions where I've got some friends who work on the 3rd floor, and because I'm doing materials and shader stuff, they occasionally have questions for me with setting things up, so I'll go down and sit with them for a little bit. But in terms of directly working on anything other than DA, no, I've never had the cause yet.
Well, who knows what will happen in the future, they say.
Who knows, indeed.
Oh, something you have to look
I certainly don't.
Yes, of course
officially.
You don't. Officially, you do not know anything. Oh man. Someone's asking all of our ages. I don't know if anyone wants to divulge that, but yeah, I've already divulged mine.
I'm 24.
Really? Oh, Jesus.
I'm 30.
I do not see that at all.
I know.
You look
I'm
so
young. I'm 25.
But no, yeah. You've aged gracefully. Only hope I can age that well.
Yeah. How old are you, Scottish? You're like
21, 22 in April.
21. Jesus Christ. I'm nearly 28. I am nearly 28.
You're just 21 plus. After you reach 21, it's just 21 plus.
28.
Yeah, but just I'm 21, never been drunk, don't go to clubs, and I sit in the house and play video games most of the time.
Screw that. Come to PAX this year, any of them, and I'll get you in the Twitch party, and we'll fucking get you drunk.
I don't drink alcohol.
Shame, I'm a seasoned professional.
I don't. I've chosen that my lifestyle. I do not drink alcohol. Do not smoke. And I do not take.
I'll drink for the pair of us. It's fine.
Yeah, have you ever seen any of us at conventions and you want to buy us booze? Double it for ability, because I don't drink.
Yeah, you know it.
Catherine B42 asks, can you play and enjoy the games you've worked on, or is it a bit weird?
I'm trying to think. I played the Formula Ones that I worked on. I played those to death. Thought they were really, really good. Wipeout HD and Fury, played that to death. It's it's a point of pride. I didn't play them because I had to, but we had really good teams during the Formula One Wipeout days, and then in the Motorstorm days, they were really good teams too. I certainly had a very good team when I was working on Motorstorm Apocalypse, and that was a huge commercially it bombed because of the circumstances of its launch. There's a little bit of backstory which I'll whip through very quickly. So Motorstorm Apocalypse was basically, it was a Motorstorm racing game where you're racing around a city that's been hit by an earthquake, and we were scheduled to come out at the end of March 2011, which was 2 weeks after Wellington was annihilated by an earthquake, and a matter of days after Fukushima was annihilated by an earthquake. So Sony being a Japanese company, all of the games had to come off the shelves. Yeah. So it was, as I say, it was a great technical achievement, and I was very proud to have worked on it, especially on my little bit of it, and enjoyed playing online with a lot of the other devs. We would kind of hold like weekend online racing versus the devs, and that was huge fun. So yeah, it's never weird when it's a good game. So yeah, hopefully that answers the question.
So you didn't find yourself picking holes in your work, going, "Oh, I should have done that better," or "So should have done that better."
You know, totally. So there's a kind of a nerdy techie joke. When we were getting Formula One ready for the PS3's launch, I think the Japanese PS3 launched in November 2006. So we had to get a copy of the game ready for that. And one of the tracks that I had worked on was the Spanish Formula One track, and I'd mistakenly exported double the artwork for a really large piece. So the budget was quite tight. I'd exported 64,000 triangles worth of geometry instead of 32. And the game shipped with twice as much artwork as it needed in certain areas. And fortunately, the artwork was pretty efficient and it ran anyway and didn't drop any frames, but you could, if you knew what to look for, you could see the geometry flickering as you drove along, and it was like, God, I need to
Only you caught it.
Yeah. And also,
does that not drive you mad though, knowing it's there and you can't
drive you mad?
Oh, that wasn't a pun purposely, but
there's a worse one. There's a Wipeout HD track which I did on Wipeout HD. My job was to do all of the track surfaces, so I was designing and producing them for the design. And on one of them, it was kind of like a storm drain looking thing, which went underwater, and it was all very exciting and nice looking. But on the side of the track, so that you could identify the sides of the track from the floor, there was lights that would punctuate along it. And on one side, they're blue, which I intended, and I had to re-export the track, but forgot to adjust the other side to blue. So one side's blue, the other side's white. And that really, really, really annoyed me. But as it turns out, it's a really good mechanic because the tracks are reversible, and you can tell which way you're supposed to go around by which color the lights are on each side. So it's a bad mistake, and I absolutely hate the inconsistency, but it does actually eventually serve a purpose.
Yeah.
So you could just get away with it. So yeah, I meant to do that.
No, just like I've done, I'll admit that as a mistake completely.
Yeah. I can't say.
I'm not into bullshit mistakes.
Can't say much about artistic way, but I can definitely say when it's come to my exams, we had to configure. This is probably gonna go over everyone's head. had to configure a OSPF network on a router, and I fucked up halfway through it. And looking back at it now, I'm like, shit, wait, but I managed to pass it, so I was alright with that. So yeah, the advanced tip for everyone: if you're configuring routers, show run start is your best friend. But yeah,
right, I'm gonna put a link into Skype because I've just found an example of this. That's hilarious, as if it's on the web. Okay, so you find people will be able to see this. The chat won't, but you'll see exactly what I was talking.
I'll see if I can put it in. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh snap.
Yeah.
That game looks cool. What game is it?
Wipeout.
Oh.
It was
yeah. See, I wouldn't have even noticed that. So.
I mean, me neither.
It was a PlayStation 1 launch title in about 1995, and sadly, when Liverpool was closed in 2012, I think that kind of marked the end of Liverpool certainly making Wipeout games, which is a big shame.
Didn't Wipeout get a revisit on PS Vita?
Yeah, Liverpool made that. That was the last. That was the last game the studio Liverpool shipped.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, wait,
and it's a really good game. I've got it for Vita.
I don't have a Vita, but I do remember playing the older Wipeouts. So
I get that.
I'm not. I'll be honest. I don't play. I don't play story-driven games. So racing games and sports games are games I'm just like, yeah, I can see they look gorgeous, but don't ask me to play it.
These are like spaceships and stuff.
I'm the polar opposite of that. I'm into much more kind of straightforward, half an hour skill based. If you fail, it's down to you. There's no contrived stuff.
I don't mind the skill games. As I can play them, but I like to play a game with story. Like the game I'm playing right now is Bravely Default on the DS, and that's got a really good story so far. But also has a bit of skill into it as well. Because if you don't do your party right, things kill you fast.
Yeah.
Because it's a pain in the ass. But I don't mind skill games. The last one I played was I tried playing Infinite Crisis on stream, and I am never touching that game again.
Someone's asking a question in the chat because I'm keeping my eye on things.
I was watching.
Guitar Shred UK, do you envy or get frightened by the amount of work that Turn 10 puts into 4 to 5 tracks? Apparently 9 months to do 1 track. No, and neither. When we were working on, I've never worked on a racing game that had a turnaround longer than a production turnaround longer than 18 months. We did Formula 1 with an environment team of 12, and I think that year there was 20 tracks on the calendar, and we did the PS3 launch version in about 10 months. So that was 10 months for the whole lot. Tracks, cars, lighting, optimization. 9 months to do 1 track feels excessive, but I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, Forza is, what GT is to PlayStation owners. It's the premier console racing game, pretty much.
Yeah, my cousin knows that I do well. He's a big racing game fan.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big fan of racing games as well, but it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Did you ever play Snowboard Kids?
I didn't play Snowboard Kids.
Oh my god, that was so much fun. I was so addicted to that game when I was a kid.
I think the first racing game I played was Porsche Challenge.
Nice.
Oh my god, what was it?
No, it was Master System Super Hang-On for me. That was the first.
Wave racers or wave racers?
Oh, on the jet skis.
Yeah, oh my god, that game was so much fun.
The only racing game I had fun with was Rave Racer in the arcade.
Ridge Racer.
Ridge Racer. I think my arcade, my old arcade, may have had a knockoff called Rave.
Rave Racer.
No, there was
a bootleg version.
No, there was something called Rave Racer, wasn't there?
Yeah,
I think it was.
I think there was.
Ridge Racer Type 4. Yeah.
There was a lot when the arcade I had a lot of different versions of games that were like knockoffs. So
yeah, there is a Rave Racer, and it
by
was
Namco.
Rave Racer.
Does it tell you who developed it? Was it Namco?
Yeah, it was Namco.
Those are
1995.
I'm a huge Ridge Racer fan. I love it to bits.
I love those are the ones I had fun with. That's just because it was an arcade and just like pound coin after pound coin after pound coin, just playing them. Arcades, I miss them. There's not that many anymore.
No, there isn't.
It's a shame.
We still have one. We have one at the mall, but it's not that great.
Yeah, I end up looking on eBay for old arcade cabinets, and I'm like, oh, there's a Dance Dance Revolution one for £1,500. Wow.
So there was some guy on one of the local sites, you know, like you have Loot in the UK, you've got like local sell-on stuff.
Yeah.
Kijiji in Canada, there was someone in Edmonton selling a Tron arcade cabinet, discs of Tron arcade cabinet, and I didn't get it. It's like, God, what are you thinking?
Oh my God.
Wow.
So yeah, if DAI does well,
yeah,
that's what I'll be in.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that looks at old arcade machines, and I'm just like, oh, if I could just only have it in my house. Because
I collect vintage stuff. I collect vintage consoles, so I kind of need to get a. I feel the pull towards a proper arcade cabinet.
Yeah,
see,
decent.
Especially if it's a Tron.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a collector.
Okay.
I'm a collector. Because I've got some old NES games, and I'm trying to pick them up, but a lot of them go for really high prices, so it's hard to get a hold of them. But yeah, I've no space to put a Dance Dance Revolution machine. But if I had one of them, I'd probably be like, well, I think I can keep fit with that. I love Dance Dance Revolution. I had such a blast playing that when I was a kid.
Kitty.
Still do.
Oh, can you see him?
Well, which one is that?
It's Riker.
Riker.
Yeah.
Aww.
Okay.
Let's see. There's no harm in asking this, I guess. Was there a particular game that when you saw it, when you first played it, that made you go, I want to draw this, or was it just like that kind of pushed you to get into the gaming drawing design method than others?
Just give me 2 seconds. I'll try and find a pen. Because yes, there was, and I can still do a fair stab at sketching. I don't have a pen.
Oh,
I don't have a pen.
No.
An artist with no pen.
Oh.
It doesn't make any sense.
Amateur.
It's okay, blood magic. Oh. Someone in the chat asked, Ash, who do you want to romance in DAI? I'll just say real quick, Colin.
Obviously.
There we go. That's
wow.
There we go.
Bin of
I got
pens.
the pen.
God, I hope this doesn't embarrass me too badly.
What are you drawing?
Hopefully you'll be able to work it out, but it was the I think what he asked, what Scottish asked was there a game that inspired you to actually get drawing? Now this was 22 years ago, and I've probably drawn it a handful of times since, so I do apologise if it goes awry, which it probably will.
You should have
I've done
music
the same. I've done the same. I've tried drawing. I'm not an artist in any way, shape, or form, but I've tried dabbling in drawing different things. So, like, as I'm learning to draw manga and anime right now, I'm bored.
It's going super badly.
Well, you're doing it on the fly, so I mean, it's just out of nowhere.
This is also true.
Oh.
That's truly terrible.
Sonic.
Sonic the Hedgehog, the game that everyone
I love it so much. Sonic 2 was arguably the finest game that came out for the Mega Drive.
Didn't BioWare do a Sonic game, or am I imagining that?
Sonic Chronicles for the GBA, yeah.
So the one where he turns into a werewolf?
I think so. Sonic RPG, wasn't it?
Sonic...
You guys, I've got to get going, but you guys could continue.
Okay.
Well, actually, my mom's just came in a minute ago, so I need to wrap things up anyway, so...
Oh, right, okay.
We will end on Sonic.
We'll end on Sonic.
We went for quite a while this time.
Yeah. So, thank you for everyone who joined us, and thank you again, Nick, for hopping in and having a nice wee chat with us.
Yeah, thank you so much for that.
Quick send-offs, go.
Okay, everyone do your random shout-outs. Start with, well, we may as well start with Nick. Everyone, you give yourself a shameless plug, where people can find stuff for you.
Again, well, looking at my Twitter interactions, it looks like most of the people in chat already have. But I'm Nick. I'm pointing to BioWare. BioWare is about 10 minutes that way. But I'm a level and shader artist at BioWare, working on Dragon Age Inquisition, and I'm on Twitter at Sandercoin.
Okay. Ash, shameless plugs.
Oh, okay. Obviously, most of you know I'm Ash, Lady Insanity. You can check out my channel on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and all that jazz. If things go well, DA Talk Cassandra will be coming out very soon, and then yeah, that's me.
Billy, shameless plug.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter and YouTube at Ability Drain. Go and ask me some questions. I just did a video, so go ask me shit and I'll answer it. Not about boobs. You've seen the video if you haven't already. When you see it, you'll know.
Well, just I need to throw away the question I was going to ask. MD, shameless plug.
He's like,
Damn.
I'm GamerMDD3 on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, and just keep an eye out on my channel because I might be starting that new Let's Play.
Okay. And
the one that's secret.
Yeah,
a super secret one.
You all know me, I'm ScottishWarrior92. You can find me Twitter at ScottishW92 because Twitter doesn't allow me to have a full long thing like that. You can find me on YouTube at ScottishWarrior92, Facebook, all that plus, and in the future on misclicks.com where I will be a article writer, so that should be an absolute blast. Look, the VODs for this, if you've missed any, will be going up in the next few days. Ask the Warrior is going to be tomorrow, so if you want to ask me any questions, go to the video and submit your questions, or wait tomorrow for me to tweet, ask me questions, you dozy bastards. I love you all, really. With the hashtag, what was the hashtag again? Gingerwit?
It's so weird.
Ginger Veiny Love Tree.
I remember the tree.
Ginger
Veiny Love.
Ginger
Veiny Love Tree.
Wait, how many do we have here? We have the Ginger Veiny Love Tree. We have Terrasexual. We have
Viva La Boris.
Viva La Boris.
I don't have one.
Owen doesn't
you
have
guys
a hashtag.
Make a Owen hashtag.
Someone make an Owen hashtag. But yeah, you can find me there, and hopefully, also Warriors Geeky News will be out probably Monday because I had to find some news to find out, and a lot not taking away, a lot of news about sexuality of late in gaming industry. Surprisingly, mostly about the Last of Us DLC. Won't spoil it for anyone. But other than that, thank you for everyone for watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. As always, I'm ScottishWarrior92, and we will all see you next time on D&D.
Bye guys, thank you.